Here we are. The 2021 NASCAR season has come to a close. In comparison to 2020, this year blew by while 2020 felt like a decade that I thought I would never live through. Now that I've reacted to MF17's predictions, it's time now to take a look back at my 2021 predictions. Alright, let's get started.
Oh my god, Max! My god, look at this! Woo!
The fuck is that?
Fucking hell! Oh my god! Man, damn. Man, that's epic and base. That is poggers.
We'll start with a bold prediction for prediction number 1. Chevrolet will win the manufacturer's title for the first time in a while. Now this one I truly felt confident on. The fact that, of course, 2020 was a pretty solid season for Chevrolet. Not only that, Chase Elliott also took home the championship. This year was an icing on the cake. Kyle Larson getting 10 wins, Alex Bowman getting 4, Elliott still being his usual self, William Byron even picking up a win. Not only that, but Kurt Busch picked up a win in Atlanta, and Kaulig Racing got their first win with AJ Allmendinger at Indianapolis. Prediction number 2, and this one will be my Speed Weeks predictions. I've pretty much thrown everything of Speed Weeks into one prediction. I predict the Clash winner will be Chase Elliott.
Elliott inside the chicane.
Whoa, hey.
And it's a drag race to the line. Kyle Busch is going to steal the Busch Clash.
I predict for the Daytona 500 Pole Award, I predict that Alex Bowman will get the Pole Award.
Yes! This is it! Alright! Woo!
As for the Daytona Truck Race, I predict that Zane Smith will win that race. And the Daytona Xfinity winner, I have AJ Allmendinger winning that race. And for the Daytona 500, I predict that Denny Hamlin will get his 3rd in a row. And did anyone really expect Michael McDowell to win the Daytona 500? I know I didn't.
So for your Daytona season opener predictions, I'll admit you made a lot of interesting decisions for the different winners of each individual race, but out of all of the outcomes that you had predicted, you only managed to get one of them right, and that being Alex Bowman winning the Daytona 500 pole.
Prediction number 3, first career wins across all 3 series. So for this one, I'll just pretty much say what drivers I think will get their first career wins from the Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and Camping World Truck Series. In the Cup Series, Chase Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell, and or Matt DiBenedetto.
No! So for your Cup Series first-time winners prediction, you managed to get 2 drivers right. But before we get into them, let's first cover the driver who won that you didn't predict, that being Michael McDowell. And he managed to win the Daytona 500, much to the surprise of everyone who saw that.
In the NASCAR Xfinity Series, I predict that Daniel Hemrick will finally get that first Xfinity win. As well as Jeb Burton, and I can see Ryan Sieg pulling off a win this season as well.
So for your Xfinity Series first-time winners, the first one I'm going to say that you managed to get right was Jeb Burton. And like Bubba Wallace, he got his first career win at Talladega in a rain delay. Now, let's talk about all the other drivers that won that you didn't predict, because there's quite a few of them. The first one being Myatt Snider, who got his first win at Homestead, and the next one being Brandon Brown, who got his win in the second Talladega race, which was shortened by weather and darkness as well. And the next one that we're going to cover are the two first-time winners that easily stand above the rest of the field. That being Ty Gibbs and Josh Berry.
I was very impressed with how Ty Gibbs performed this season. He picked up 4 wins, considering the fact that he never had a truck start, and a lot of the times he never really got any practice or qualifying. With him going full-time next year in the Xfinity Series, I'm pretty confident that Ty Gibbs is going to be a championship contender, and he's going to win a good amount of races again. As for Josh Berry, he got his first win early on at Martinsville, and then he won again in the second Las Vegas race, subbing in for Michael Annett. Josh Berry will run full-time next season for Junior Motorsports, and I think he can be a championship competitor too. He's been honestly one of the biggest feel-good stories of the 2021 season. And obviously a feel-good moment for a guy like Brandon Brown too, for which he and his family have worked hard towards this moment. Unfortunately though, it nearly got ruined thanks to people. And by the way, Callie Stavis did nothing wrong. Okay, moving on.
Let's go, Brandon! Let's go, Brandon! He's not going to be good for John Cena, I'm afraid.
As for the Truck Series, I predict that Chandler Smith will get his first win in 2021.
As for the other first-time winners in the Truck Series, one of them was Christian Eckes, who managed to get his first win at Vegas for Thor Sport Racing while splitting the 98 truck between him and Grant Enfinger. Another one that came out of left field was Tate Fogelman winning at Talladega. That's definitely not one that I didn't see coming. Now, as for the other first-time winners in the Truck Series, we had Martin Truex Jr. and Ryan Preece.
Prediction number 4. Who gets the most wins? I think there will be bigger varieties of winners with all the new tracks this season, so I think maybe in the Cup Series you'll see someone get about 5 or 6 wins, and I predict in the Cup Series, Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin will get the most wins.
Damn!
Yeah, Kyle Larson got the most wins this year, and the people who came closest to him were Martin Truex Jr. and Alex Bowman, both with 4 wins each.
As for the Xfinity Series, I think Austin Cindric will go on a tear once again, and he'll win a lot of races, similar to what Chase Briscoe did last season. Well, I guess you could say I got this one, despite the fact that the JGR 54 has won a ton. Austin Cindric still got a lot of wins, as I expected. He and AJ Allmendinger tied for the most wins among full-time Xfinity drivers. And in the Truck Series, I think Sheldon Creed will also pick up where he left off, and I think John Hunter Nemechek is going to come close as well. I knew Sheldon Creed was going to have a good season, but I should have factored in more of John Hunter Nemechek. He had a fantastic season. The only thing that really was missing was a championship. Unfortunately, he was not able to get the job done at Phoenix, as on lap 1 he ran into the wall and had a flat just a few laps later, pretty much putting his championship hopes in jeopardy. With that being said, Nemechek will be back in the number 4 truck next season, and I expect more dominance from him anyway. Prediction number 5. My first 2022 silly season prediction. I predict that Ryan Newman will retire at the end of 2021. I do have a feeling that the writing is on the wall, especially after his horrible crash at the end of the Daytona 500 last season. As for a bonus, I predict that Matt DiBenedetto will end up replacing him. Now watch, after Newman retires, Roush will probably go back down to 1 car. I knew Ryan Newman wouldn't be back in this car, and it's not really been said if he's retired or not, but there's a really good chance he will not be in a Cup car in 2022. Although I was dead wrong about Matt DiBenedetto. At this rate, he's probably going to end up driving for Mike Harmon Racing or something like that. I don't know. But who would have expected Brad Keselowski to take over the number 6? The team is now going to be RFK Racing starting next season. Prediction number 6. I'm predicting the winners of all the new tracks for all 3 series. So this one's going to be a lengthy one. but it's still a fun one with all the new tracks being on the schedule. In the Cup Series, I predict Christopher Bell will win the Bristol Dirt Race, and it will be his first career win. As for Circuit of the Americas, I predict that race will have a little bit of a surprise. I think Kurt Busch will pull off the win in that one. Nashville, I predict Kyle Busch will win that race, and hopefully he doesn't smash the guitar. Road America and the Indy Road Course, I have Chase Elliott winning both of those races.
It's the 7th road course win. Chase Elliott into the Indy history books. A.J. Allmendinger will cross the yard of bricks, the winner of the first ever road course.
As for the Xfinity Series, Circuit of the Americas, and Nashville, I have Austin Cindric winning both of those races.
You're mad, I'm back. Big mad, he's mad, she's mad. Big fat, ha ha. Don't care, stay mad.
As for the Truck Series, I predict Matt Crafton will win the Bristol Dirt Race. At Circuit of the Americas, I predict that John Hunter Nemechek will win that race.
Todd. I'm Todd.
As for Nashville, I have Kyle Busch penciled in, but if he does not run that race, then I will have Sheldon Creed listed as my winner. As for Knoxville, I predict Grant Enfinger will win that race. And at Watkins Glen, I predict Sheldon Creed will win that race. Prediction number 7. Alex Bowman will win at least 2 races in 2021 in the number 48. Not only did the hack pick up at least 2 wins, he would end up grabbing 4 wins in what was a career season for Alex Bowman. Prediction number 8. Between the 3 new Cup teams, I think it's safe to say that 2311 Racing will perform the best of the 3. I also think Bubba Wallace has a shot at making the playoffs as well.
So when it comes to the focus of the new teams, the primary focus is largely on 2311 Racing and Trackhouse Racing. And let's start with Trackhouse, because in the first portion of the season, they were actually putting up some pretty good results, and they really were showing that Daniel Suarez could bring this team a lot of good results. Primarily when he led laps and finished 4th in the Bristol Dirt Race. But then in the latter half of the season, a litany of mechanical issues would plague the team and would really hurt their overall performance on the season. Now, as for 2311 Racing, they started off the season very rough, but in the latter half of the season, Bubba Wallace picked up the pace, got several top 5 finishes, and managed to cap off the season with his first career win at Talladega. So I think it's safe to say that yes, 2311 Racing did perform the best of the new teams.
Prediction number 9. Kyle Larson will only get 1 win this season. I have to say, of all the predictions I got wrong, I'm probably the most ashamed of this one. Like, I probably should have known that Kyle Larson is just that damn good of a driver. He is. He won like 30 plus dirt races on top of the 10 Cup races that he won. This has been a historic season for Kyle Larson, and I'm pretty sure more wins are coming for him in the coming years. Boy, what the hell was I thinking? If I needed to quote Urinating Tree, I think I deserve the locale of the week for this. Prediction number 10, the Truck Series Playoffs. The 10 drivers that I have making the Truck Series Playoffs are John Hunter Nemechek, Sheldon Creed, Austin Hill, Zane Smith, Tyler Ankrum, Todd Gilliland, Matt Crafton, Grant Enfinger, Ben Rhodes, and Chandler Smith. As for my Championship 4, I have John Hunter Nemechek, Sheldon Creed, Zane Smith, and Austin Hill in the Championship 4, and I predict that the 2021 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion will be John Hunter Nemechek.
Oh shit!
While our football team gets blown out by Kentucky yet again, at least Louisville has this to celebrate about.
Prediction number 11, and this involves car number 11, but in the Xfinity Series. Justin Haley will get a win on a non-super speedway track, so I predict that he will win at a track that is not Daytona or Talladega.
So, as it turns out, Justin Haley only got one win this year, and it was another win at Daytona. So unfortunately, he did not get a win on a non-super speedway track, but he was close in a few places. But speaking of drivers getting their first career win on a non-super speedway track, Eric Almirola managed to do that this year in the Cup Series at New Hampshire. So that's definitely a plus.
Prediction number 12. The Xfinity Series playoffs. The 12 drivers I have making the Xfinity Series playoffs are Michael Annett, Myatt Snyder, Justin Allgaier, Noah Gragson, Jeb Burton, Justin Haley, AJ Allmendinger, Daniel Hemrick, Brandon Jones, Harrison Burton, Austin Cindric, and Ryan Sieg.
So as for your Xfinity Series playoff driver prediction, you managed to get 10 out of 12 right. And since I had the same list as you, I definitely feel disappointed on that as well. And as for the drivers who made it in that you didn't predict, you have Jeremy Clements, who made the playoffs for the second time in his career, and you also have Riley Herbst. But the big reason for that is for two things. One, Michael Annett's leg injury. My leg! And two, Ryan Sieg's performance this year was like Stuart Friesen's last year in the trucks.
And my championship 4 are the following: Austin Cindric, AJ Allmendinger, Harrison Burton, and Daniel Hemrick. And I predict that the 2021 NASCAR Xfinity Series champion will be Austin Cindric. I think he will be the next driver. The last driver to do, of course, was Tyler Reddick, to go back-to-back in Xfinity championships.
Nope.
Speaking of prediction number 13, that's going to be my next 2022 silly season prediction. I predict Noah Gragson does move up to Cup in 2022.
Hey, stop! Why? I just don't get it. I always catch you fuckers watching this sick shit. This is sickening.
So Noah Gragson is actually going to be spending
one more year
in the Xfinity Series, so he's not going to be going up to Cup right away. And considering what he's been involved in recently, maybe that's for the best. And honestly, the season was a really weird one for Gragson because it started with him getting crashed out in the Daytona duel race and failed to make it into the field for the Daytona 500. And the first 2/3 of the season were not going well for Gragson. But then all of a sudden, in the last portion of the season, he then got 3 wins at Darlington, Richmond, and Martinsville. But aside from that, there really isn't that much else to Gragson's 2021 season, so 2022 is definitely going to be in line for a lot of improvement. And I do mean a lot of improvement.
Prediction number 14. John Hunter Nemechek will win at least 3 races, at least 3, in 2021.
And he got 5 wins. Yes, 5.
Prediction number 15, we will stay in the Truck Series. And when I mentioned the Truck Series would be a bloodbath this year, I predict that there will be more than 10 winners in the Truck Series. We will have more winners than playoff spots. I'm feeling pretty good about that one.
As it turns out, there were 12 different winners in the Truck Series this year. But in the regular season, there were only 8 different winners, and 3 of them were Cup drivers.
Prediction number 16, the Cup Series playoffs. Here are my 16 drivers that will make the Cup Series playoffs: Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, Austin Dillon, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, Christopher Bell, Matt DiBenedetto, William Byron, Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano, Chase Briscoe, and Alex Bowman. Those are my 16 drivers that will make the Cup Series playoffs.
So, I must say, for this year's Cup Series playoff driver prediction, you managed to get 13 out of 16 right. That's probably the closest average you could probably ever get when predicting the Cup Series playoffs. And that's how it was for me as well. But the three drivers that you had predicted, Austin Dillon, Chase Briscoe, and Matt DiBenedetto, they did not make it in, and instead we have Eric Almirola, Michael McDowell, and Tyler Reddick. And I do think it's fascinating that we both had Chase Briscoe in our playoff predictions as a rookie winner like Cole Custer last year, but unfortunately he didn't get that first win. But next year that should be different.
And my championship 4 are the following: Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, and Alex Bowman. And I predict that the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion, and I predicted him last year, I got it wrong, but this time around, I think he'll finally get it. I predict that Denny Hamlin will finally get that championship that he has long awaited for, and he will be the 2021 Cup Series champion. Prediction number 17, I predict we will get one last big controversial finish like what we saw at Talladega last fall with the Gen 6 car, either at the Bristol Dirt Race or it'll be the Fall Talladega race once again because it's a playoffs race and we've seen quite a few controversies involving that race in the past.
Oh, of course. What would the world be without a little bit of that good old-fashioned controversy? But after looking through the events of this year, the most controversial races of the year was not the Bristol Dirt Race, nor the Talladega Fall Race. It was actually a tie between the Bushy McBush Race 400 at Kansas and the Verizon 200 at Indianapolis. And these ones were controversial for different reasons, as at Kansas, it was because of NASCAR not throwing the caution for a tire that was clearly out on the track and would have caused a lot of problems, but they clearly just weren't interested in doing so. And at Indianapolis, it was because of the curbing that came apart down the middle of the track and was causing all sorts of problems. And then, of course, you also had Chase Briscoe dumping the leader when he clearly should have had to serve a stop-and-go penalty, but he clearly knew what he was doing when he did that. But aside from that, it's safe to say that those were the races that had the most controversy in them this year.
Prediction number 18. I see AJ Allmendinger getting at least 3 wins in his full-time run for Kaulig Racing, and yes, as I said earlier, I think he's a threat for a championship this year as well.
AJ Allmendinger actually had a really good season this year in the Xfinity Series. Like John Hunter Nemechek, Allmendinger got 5 wins this year, and actually had some pretty strong results as he claimed the regular season championship and made it to the championship 4. So, in a sense, AJ Allmendinger has basically become the new Elliott Sadler of the Xfinity Series.
Prediction number 19 will be my final 2022 silly season prediction. I predict that Sheldon Creed will move up to the Xfinity Series in 2022 for Junior Motorsports.
Sheldon Creed will be moving to the Xfinity Series next year. However, it's not with Junior Motorsports. It's with Richard Childress Racing. And as an added bonus, Austin Hill will be joining Creed as his teammate next year in Xfinity as well.
Prediction number 20, I predict that there will be another new track that will be added on the Cup Series schedule for 2022.
I'm actually really thrilled about Gateway getting a Cup race. The reason for that is because, well, I have a lot of family in St. Louis, and I really want to go out to that race if it's possible. I really don't know how many races I'll make next year, but Gateway is definitely a top priority.
The NASCAR Clash at the Coliseum, February 6th, 2 weeks before the Daytona 500. First time we've had the Clash outside of Daytona Beach, Florida.
My final prediction, and I'm pretty sure a few people have made this prediction as well, but I am on the same boat, and it's this. By the end of the season, or perhaps the championship finale at Phoenix, we will have a full sellout full capacity crowd for a race. For the first time since last spring's Phoenix race, which was the last race before the pandemic.
The first race of the 2021 season that had a full sellout capacity crowd was the Ally 400 at Nashville. And then other races throughout the rest of the season had mostly mixed capacity, but from then on forward there were definitely a lot more races that had full capacity crowds.
And that wraps it up for this video where I reacted to my 2021 predictions. Sorry this took a little long. It took so long that my voice now sounds like crap because I have allergies and I have a bit of a sore throat, so I apologize. With that being said, a special thank you to Motorsports Fan 17. We got to react to each other's predictions and then back to our predictions as well, as I struggle to find any sort of wording there. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. There is more to come, and I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving and have a wonderful holidays as well. I'm Sonicals831, and I'll see you in the next video.